Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to our viewers from Fiji to Turkey in the Asia Pacific region and beyond. My name is Jose, and I'd like to thank you all for joining us today for this another productivity talk organized by the Asian Productivity Organization. Today's P-Talk topic is productivity performance of digital workplaces. Many workplaces nowadays are designed to operate in synchrony with digital technologies that connect workers regardless of location, device, or time zone. The new workplace model focuses on productivity, collaboration, leadership, and culture in the digital age. However, there are challenges to be addressed in measuring productivity in digital workplaces, such as intelligent automation, cloud computing, AI integration, just to cite few examples. Whether employees are working at home, in the office, or elsewhere, the technology they depend on to do their jobs is vital to their success at workplace nowadays. The APO has recently published a report on productivity performance of digital workplaces with the participation of 10 national experts from 10 APO member economies, namely Bangladesh, India, the Republic of Korea, Malaysia, Mongolia, Nepal, Pakistan, the Philippines, Thailand, and Turkey. For those of you who have not checked this report yet, please go to our website and download it for free. To explain the main findings of the report, we are very privileged to be joined today by the chief expert of this APO research project. Joining us in this P-Talk is Professor Seong Ju Kang from Sejong University, the Republic of Korea. A warm welcome to you, Professor Kang. Would you like to say hello to our viewers?
Hello, everyone. How are you today? This is from Korea, speaking actually Seong Ju Kang, working at Sejong University. Very good to see you again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Kang, and thank you very much for your warm greetings and basically for joining us in this P-Talk. Since we are live today, viewers are encouraged to send questions or comments via the chat box, and we will ask these questions to Professor Kang at the end of his presentation during the Q&A session. Now, to share the highlights of the report, we would like to invite Professor Kang for his presentation. Professor Kang, I will now turn over to you.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone again. My name is Seong Ju Kang, working at Sejong University, Seoul, Korea. As you actually remember me, actually we have worked together regarding actually digital transformation, so-called DX, and actually economic performance, such as growth, etc., and actually employment. And there are many indicators. So the topic was productivity performance of digital workplaces, insights from actually selected 10 APO member economies. This is the summary of that project. I'm gonna going to kind of introduce the result of our work. Okay, next. This is the cover of the report. Maybe you have seen this already, or as Jose mentioned, if you have not seen this report, maybe you can download. Actually, you can see the URL below this screen, actually from the APO website. And actually, again, thank you very much for actually commitment and support for this report, this project happen. Okay, next. Do you remember all of these are actually 10 experts from 10 countries, including myself, also in addition to actually Jose from APO. We did this kind of seminar twice actually during our project, and we shared our ideas, actually what you were thinking and what you have found during our work. Thank you very much for your people. And why we actually conduct this kind of project. Why? There are many reasons, many explanations, but the main reason to assess the productivity gains, performance from digital workplaces, there are many kind of audiences, clients of our project. Maybe number one group is leaders and managers from not only our actually 10 participant countries, but also many other APO members or leaders. They want to know the evidence to justify the cost and efforts of digital workplace adoption because, you know, they are the leaders, they are the managers. They need to handle those kind of, products. They need to make a decision based on this kind of, result. And second group of the reader of your client is practitioners and engineers. Actually, they need to have some kind of practical insight for those implementing digital workplace systems and guiding technology selection, design, and management. Those are the key people, key person of this report, I think. And employees, there are many workers in public organization entities, private entities, NGOs, etc. Actually, they need to address how digital workplaces can improve work efficiency, job satisfaction, and work-life balance. There are many issues actually the employees they are looking for actually via this project. Maybe the last group of actually our project is the scholars, researchers. They want to contribute to academic research on productivity in digital environments nowadays because of DX. Nowadays, actually, in advance, actually AI also. They want to find some theories, some facts. So those are objectives to assess, to evaluate productivity performance. This is the main product of this project. Okay, next. There are several terms, but actually this is not deeply actually theoretical project, but more practical project. Just actually you want to use several concepts like digital workplace. There are many definitions, concepts, but in this report, in our project, digital workplace actually means an environment that brings together various technologies and tools to allow employees to work remotely, collaborate effectively, and access information seamlessly, regardless of location or device. Basically, actually, they are using digital equipments or services. Another concept is productivity. Already, actually, many economists, scholars, actually, they have defined this concept many times, many purposes. In our project, we are more focusing on labor sector, labor productivity, means output per labor. Of course, there are capital productivity and actually total factor productivity, several kinds of other productivities, but we are more concerning about labor productivity. Why? Digital workplace is more heavily dependent on labor sector rather than capital or total factor productivity. Okay, next. There are several kind of previous research already have been done by scholars, by consulting firms, by institutes. Let me share just one report actually done by McKinsey last year. They analyze many kind of trends of the productivity. Actually, you can see around late 1990s, the personal actually labor productivity, actually the level at that time per actually labor was around 7,000. Actually, that was the medium number. Of course, there are many variations, but actually the median number was 7,000. But year 2022, around 20 years later from that time, it became 41,000, the median number. That means almost, 5 times more than actually 20 years ago. Many reasons, many explanations, but according to actually McKinsey, The main reason is productivity, also from actual labor productivity. There are many researches already have been done, and many researchers and universities, academia, they are heavily working on this actual phenomena. But this kind of digital productivity or digital transformation makes big jump from actually the productivity. Next. Because of this event, actually several decades ago, the economist actually Solo, he mentioned about back to small actually kind of book review at New York, maybe New York Times in 1987. There are many reasons. He mentioned about there are big numbers, but actually statistics. We called productivity paradox. We can see, we can observe actually the managers, we can see actually those results or the performance of the productivity kind of gains. But in statistics, in numbers, it is not easy to find out. There are many reasons. According to researchers, measurement issue. It's kind of when they measure the result or the performance of that investment, it's kind of time lag. Or another one is complementaries. This is more kind of when companies change the production line by using digital technologies, another factor, let's say not only actual labor but also the working hour or the working conditions. There are many another kind of factors could actually affect to the performance. That is complementarities, and actually diminishing returns. Usually, when actually the investment was actually given, initially the returns is gonna be very high, but later, let's say decades later, it's gonna less than initial kind of stage. Those are some kind of theories or some hypothesis or the reason of the paradox. And of course, there are many solutions have been developed already. Improved measurement. Previously, actually tangible, intangible factor, usually the learning impact, could not measure, but now because of the improved measurement technique, now actually we can measure those kind of intangible factors, improved measurement and investment human capital. Learning usually, knowledge building or learning or upskilling could not measure. But nowadays, more investment in human capital rather than the mechanical system. This is another solution. And organizational change, we call it change management. So change, we appoint, let's say, C-level CIO, CTO, those kind of efforts could kind of impact, reduce that paradox. And policy support, role of government also could impact to the measure or to reduce that paradox. So there are many theoretical findings. So nowadays, still the paradox, we can see we can feel if we invest $1 billion US in digital transformation, we can foresight, we can kind of expect maybe returns gonna be better. PR could be more than one, BC ratio is gonna be more than 1 or 2. But real number is not easy to find, revenue sector. But still, actually, there are many challenges, but actually there are those paradox. Now, many scholars, they say it's gonna be many reduced because of those new solutions. Okay, next. Let me see actually what's happening during last 20 years. We just mentioned about methodology. Basically, we use data sets from APO. APO have accumulated many data sets from many times ago, several decades ago. So we want to focus year 2000 to actually 2020. So we want more focusing on that period. Actually, we have selected those 10 countries already, and we analyzed this. I'm going to introduce some result of that analysis. Number one, actually, I'm going to kind of introduce the result from alphabetically. Number one, Bangladesh. You know, during those 20 years, government initiatives and policy support couldn't make those kind of productivity improvement happen. You know, it's the major national programs such as Digital Bangladesh, Union Digital Centers, UDCs, we're going to see a little bit later, and the multiple e-governance initiatives. Also, robust government commitment has created the enabling environment needed for digitalization, so-called DX. Another one, and actually the human resource, young and tech-savvy population. Bangladesh's useful demographic is quick to adopt the digital tools. You know, there are many tools and creating strong demands for the e-learning, digital banking, e-commerce, etc., etc. The last one is growing startup ecosystem in Bangladesh, actually expanding the fintech, e-commerce, health tech with companies like actually Shadar and actually Shudop, improving supply chains and market access. So Bangladesh make not so big, but actually modest improvement in terms of productivity and actually because of that economic growth. Several challenges actually have been found and actually several recommendations also we can suggest. Number one, actually Bangladesh need to develop a national digital smart workplace guidelines. There are many methodologies, use cases already, but actually the approaches is mixed one. Guideline maybe is useful. Another one, invest in digital literacy, especially in rural, remote areas. So digital gaps actually have been widened. And number three, shift toward outcome-based KPIs rather than kind of output or the input-based task completion or efficiency. Those kind of indicators need to be institutionalized. Those are some case of recommendations to Bangladesh. Next, India. India has been done very actually good success in terms of productivity, labor productivity by using actually digital kind of workplace solutions, many kind of factors. Number one, also India, the government of India actually they developed policy and infrastructure actively. They pursued the multi-pronged national strategy, evolving policy modernization, infrastructure building, and the workforce readiness. There are many sets of the policies and programs. Another one is infrastructure sector, especially public infrastructure. Actually, world-leading DPI, Aadhaar, UPI, DigiLocker, GST platform provide seamless identity and payment, documentation, and compliance facilities that directly benefit from business and employees together. And the third one is enterprise digitalization. In private sector, companies in manufacturing, banking, IT, logistics, retail sectors, have invested heavily in ERP, cloud computing, automation, and actually remote collaboration, such as a kind of during especially the COVID-19. Of course, there are many other reasons, but regarding our digital workplaces perspective, those are some kind of factors could impact to the actual labor productivity. Of course, Indian government, Indian society need to strengthen governance of the digital public infrastructure, DPI so-called, because many complex duplicate governance system make some inefficiencies. Another one, if expand workforce digital and AI skills. Of course, many the investment has been done in a human actually resource development, but because of population and remote areas, they need to expand more. Another one is in then cybersecurity and data protection under the actually DDPT Act. Nowadays, many people are concerning about this issue. Actually, this one is not only India and many APO member countries also. Next. Republic of Korea, my country. It's one of the best country regarding digital, productivity. There are many reasons. Also, number one is kind of, advanced infrastructure. Fiber broadband, actual broadband share in OECD, actually number one country among OECD 35 member countries. ICT actually patent output and world first nationwide 5G rollouts. Those are actually personally, I was involved in those programs and strategies and national ICT programs. Government reform, 6 basic plan and national strategy for AI and AI strategy. Current government also actually around 1 month ago, they announced new AI strategies. The role of government in Korea is very critical to enhance the level of productivity by using actually data, the digital workplace solutions. Recommendations, we need to actually develop, we need to cope with new challenges. Actually, Korea need to promote large-scale adoption of AI. Still, SMEs, they actually, according to the numbers, maybe around 17%, only 70% of SMEs using AI or digital transformation tools. Another one, skills, HRD. We need to develop more programs for youth people or the senior actually people also. Third one, regulation, actually, deregulation is required. Those are some recommendations to Korea. Next. Malaysia. Malaysia has been done very wonderful actual performance by using digital workplace solutions. Many reasons, theories, government efforts. For instance, My Digital. Malaysia actually digital economy blueprint, My Digital, sets the national direction for transforming Malaysia into digitally driven economy by 2030. Of course, previously, actually, they have developed this kind of national agenda. And another one, actually, the Industry 4.0 transformation. To promote, actually, integration of smart technology, IoT, AI, robotics, automation, especially in electronics and automotive, actually, manufacturing. And digital work culture. Actually, the companies actually adopted cloud tools, dashboard, and automated actual performance reporting system to monitor projects and communications and collaboration also. So many kind of efforts actually have been done from the private sector. Challenges, divide. Malaysia also, we have actually found some actual divide. So between urban and rural areas and disabled, actually income, also many factors, digital divide. Another one, actual literacy. This is related to divide, but actually traditional the village in agriculture and construction sector. Security, privacy is one big issue, and talent shortage, especially AI. So those are several challenges we have found. Next, Mongolia. Government of Mongolia has been developed actually many kind of programs, initiative to change from analog to digitalized actually the country. So actually e-Mongolia platform introduced actually 5 years, 20. Now actually it actually integrates almost 1,000 services across 83 organizations and 32 million people online actually they are using actually that platform, and actually 1.64 million users they are using. Half of the adults are using actually Speak Success. And this kind of, the Mongolia platform actually customizes services, and many actually changes, innovations have been done. There are several cases already actually according to the country report, the expansion of the multi-option service centers, and later actually we're going to describe it in more. Nationwide, 115 centers has been installed, and actually many Mongolian people. It said that more than 1.6 million people are using, and public sector digitalization effort also has been done. Several challenges or recommendations: strengthen cybersecurity and the legal framework is kind of one challenge. Another one, expand nationwide digital skills, literacy programs, and investment. Those are challenges to actually Malaysia, the Mongolia. Sorry. Next, Nepal. Also, role of government actually had been a big success. Government digital platforms and frameworks. For instance, actually, Digital Nepal Framework version 8 in 2022, integrated electronic system actually directives 2022 also to modernize actual office operations and digital workflows. E-government systems, actually, Nagarik app and public sector office digitalization and geoms. Actually, that is the best example we're gonna actually see later. Government integrated office management system is developed and modernized internal workflows and support digital works. And private sector also actually banks and many bank also a digital payment by the kind of the retail sector. Several kind of recommendations. So strengthen cybersecurity and data actually the privacy. Another one, modernize digital governance platform because technology has been actually developed rapidly. So they need to follow up and accelerate digital skill. So HRD is required. Okay, next. Pakistan. So because of development, actually all of the developing countries actually the government's actually activity responsibility is critical. Digital financial services (DFS), its growth actually growth very dramatically. Actually included mobile bank, internet banking, and merchant POS (point of system and transactions), and actually demographic momentum and social media penetration, young generation because of this actually young Pakistan, the people, they are using digital technologies very much. And sectoral digital innovations, health sector, mining sector, they have invested and we have found several innovative results, several recommendations. Accelerate SME digital transformation through incentive system and strengthen digital leadership in government, also industry, and close and digital skill gaps and enable actually technology adoption in key sectors. Okay, next. Philippines. The government program, public sectors, for instance, e-governance platforms, e-Spark, OneSec, e-SpaceSec, and actually Securities and Exchange Commission, actually they launched multiple online systems since 2021. And during COVID-19, digital adoption, teachers, learners, and low incomes, actually the people, they utilize actually digital tools to continue education and essential services. Open government and digital actually fiscal management system also has been developed. And the recommendations. Number one, strengthen national digital infrastructure, especially rural or those kind of remote islands. Expand digital literacy and workforce capacity. Another one is strengthening data security and privacy also. Those are some items to actually to suggest to the people of the Philippines. The Thailand national digital actually strategies has been developed. And for instance, actually 12th National Economic and Social Development Plan and actually Thailand 4.0 policies focus on the building digital infrastructure and strengthening industrial competitiveness. Digital economy promotion, DEPA, and the legal frameworks has been actually improved already. And the several recommendations also actually we have suggested and expand the nationwide digital skills and strengthen cybersecurity and privacy and actually accelerate actual investment in cloud infrastructure and industrial automation is required. And next, Turkey. maybe the last, actually, the case, the 10th country of our project, actually, advanced policy frameworks and governance, multi-layered structure, such as, presidency's digital transformation office and Ministry of Industry and Technology, Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure, and TVTAC and BTK and COSGAP, we're going to introduce later, and other coordinating digital infrastructure, AI development, SME digitalization, cybersecurity initiatives. Actively, they have developed and actually implemented. Then we have seen some result also. Public sector digitalization, efforts such as Digital Turkey, e-government actually portal now provide 7,700 services, more than 4 billion users. It's big success. And rapid digitalization, such as 97% of business have internet access, and 50% use cloud computing, and many big data analytics are using smart manufacturing. Several recommendations. Strengthening actually national digital infrastructure, broadband, 5G, cloud are required, and scale actually the national digital skills and capability development is required. Accelerate SME digital transformation. Still actually very actively involving, but actually they need to develop more. Okay, next. So actually, this is another kind of graphs. So which could not include this report, but actually I made this one. You can see some, the numbers from GDP growth rate, little bit orange color, and the blue color is 20-year average labor productivity. So, the let's say Republic of Korea, GDP growth rate is around 2%, 3%, but the productivity is more than 4, meaning economic actually growth rate is really pulled by actual labor productivity rather than capital or the total factor productivity. Also, many countries, Thailand, Turkey, Bangladesh, but some countries reversed. The economic growth, let's say, another case is, let's say, Pakistan and Nepal. Okay, we can see the next. During the early 22, 27, global the economic expansion was happened during that time. So many, not only 10 IPO actually member countries, but in other countries also, we have seen actually big economic success. But, because of 2013 and 17, that year, globally economic crisis has happened. So many digital technology, because is going to increase the productivity gain. And during the financial crisis and COVID-19, the productivity gains could be reduced. That was actually another trend. And next. As I mentioned, actually, at the previous graphs, many good performers here, like Korea and Malaysia, is the typical case. Invest heavily in IT, education, and industrialization, and driving, significant improvement in actual workforce efficiency, and actually directly supporting actually GDP. That is the reason of the GDP growth. And actually a little bit moderate performers like Thailand, Turkey, and Philippines. Strong industrial sectors and political instability, economic volatility, and slow structural reforms have limited actually impact to the actual labor productivity. And the modest performance like Nepal, India, and Bangladesh. It's resilience on low productivity sectors like agriculture, and the political instability, and the insufficient investment in infrastructure and workforce development could actually result this modest modest performance growth. A little bit volatile kind of cases here, the Mongolia and Pakistan. Resilience on each commodities or the political instability and undermining long-term economic development by creating uncertainty and actually reducing actually investors confidence. Those caused actually the little bit actually low performance, labor performance. Next. So actually, 10 countries provide many cases from public sector, private sector, and legal institutional sectors together. So just I pick one case per country. So actually, I previously mentioned about the main reason or the main factors of the performance improvement is from government role, government programs, such as goods and service, actually tax network, GSTN in India. In their tax service, they have developed the online tax action system for a long time, and the result was actually remarkable. Another one is government integrated officemen, GOMs in Nepal. Geographically, the government actually management office was been inefficient. So because of this actually new system, government actually integrated a GOM system. They can handle more actually the spaces efficiently. And actually Philippines, the Tesla online program. This is HLD programs for the youth, for the actually upskilling actually programs. And UDC, Union Digital Center, Bangladesh. In nationwide, they set up these digital centers to provide the public service and connected to the many private sector together. So meaning digitalization. So actually, in the end, actually, bit kind of performance, productivity, actually, the gains. E-Mongolian platform in Mongolia. Actually, as I previously mentioned, they in Mongolia nationwide, they set up these e-Mongolian platforms and centers. So more than actually 50% of Mongolian adults, they're using these platforms. And actually, COSGAP, Small and Medium Enterprise Development Organizations in Turkey, because of this kind of the programs and the institutes support startups and SMEs to invest in digital sector, in digital workplace solutions. Many actually private companies actually they provide, like Habib Bank Limited, HBL in Pakistan. Its development actually long time, 1941 something. And actually, because of digitalization of the banking services and payment, so actually Habib Bank actually make a big success and big kind of the efficiency they have developed and they have gained already. And Top Glove in Malaysia, it's kind of worldwide rubber actual glove company. Because of digitalization, performance actually has increased more than 40% something. It's a big kind of gains they have actually achieved already. And Line company in Thailand, actually it's kind of SNS provider, and they have developed many actually Thailand people, especially young people, to communicate each other by using social network. And the KCC, Korea Communications Commission, they actually developed guidelines for smart work. So in nationwide, many actually smart workplaces, smart work centers, and they develop kind of specific guidelines. There are many labor law issues. There are many issues, and this guideline provide institutional how to institutionalize digital workplace nationwide. Those are best actually kind of practices. And actually, this is maybe the conclusion. Many kind of performance from various APO economies, actually, they have made a very big success. Of course, they have support. They have challenges, but actually, we kind of summarize these 8 recommendations. This one is during our twice a seminar, and actually personally, I have spent more than 30 years in this sector. So I read several kind of APO reports. So based on those kind of country report and observations, experiences, seminars, we summarized 8 recommendations. Number one, actually the metrics with organization actual goals. Private companies, public companies, or whatever entities, they need to align with organizational goals with the actual digitalization efforts. And another one actually provide training and development. So, previously workers, employees, they are more familiar with the previous system. So digitalized workplace, maybe it's not kind of easy to familiar. They need adjust, their working hour, working habits. We need to provide actual training and development opportunities and implement actual employee engagement. Ethnically, the age, sex. There are many reasons to make the gap among the members. We need kind of encourage those employees to engage in decentralized workplace solutions. Number four, challenges proactively. During those kind of digitalization process, many sees, many challenges, many risks we have seen. But this is about many cases we can imagine, we can expect. So we need to respond proactively before that kind of challenges, problems happen. We need to provide some programs to adjust. The number five, cultural nuance. Culturally, local, urban, actual young generation. Many people they have their own value, religious kind of background, and many reasons, cultural reasons. So we need to consider those kind of cultural actually value or the ethical kind of the aspects of digitalization. Technology, of course, digital technology. We need to leverage that technology with many other sectors, capital sectors, managerial sectors, those kind of the customers, many sectors. We need to leverage the potential of technology and the policy governance. Small sections, small units, they prefer to this one, or some units they want to use this NS. We need to make some governance or the guidelines to harvest those kind of benefits from digitalized workplace solutions. The last one, implement the regular review and adjustment. This is not one-time effort, one-time investment. We need to continuously monitor, continuously check, and we need to adjust. We need to change by time. Those are recommendations and actually kind of conclusion of this report. Next. Okay, this is soft photo. It's not included this report. And just, 2 weeks, oh no, more than 3 weeks ago, maybe some of you actually remember APEC, Gyeongju in southern part of Korean Peninsula. We have that event in Gyeongju, and these three guys are leader in digital workplace solutions or technologies. You can see right side is Jensen from actually NVIDIA, and the white shirts actually the left side guys, the front actually see it is from Samsung, JY, Lee Jae-young, Mr. Lee from Samsung, and actually the back seat actually Mr. Jung from Hyundai. Those guys symbolize, this photo symbolize the importance of the digitalized or the AI-based economy, AI-based society. Thus, we need to work based on this small kind of project or small result of our project. We need to move forward beyond our digital workplace initiative. We need to move forward now. Actually, AI. Actually, we are living in the era of the AI. We need to consider serious beyond the digital. We need to move to the actual AI. Maybe this is the last. Next. Okay. Thank you very much for your actually kind of attention, and I really appreciate from actually all of the 10 member countries national experts, as well as the Jose from actually the APO. So this project and this the report could contribute to further work and contribute to develop the more actually better the program development and performance as well. Many thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Kang. I know it's not easy to explain a report that is actually quite voluminous by the number of pages. So if viewers have already checked the report. It's more than 340 pages,
Yeah,
more
it's
than that
very
actually.
crazy. Yeah.
But Professor Kang explained to us in more or less around 40 minutes what's the content of this report. And yeah, of course, yeah. So he has a copy of the report. And of course, we also acknowledge the contributions of those other nine national experts actually, because the 10 national expert actually, the chapter of the Republic of Korea was written by Professor Kang himself. So, sir, yeah, so to our viewers, in case you have any questions about the summarized presentation of this publication by the APO, just presented by Professor Kang. So as I've said, we are live today, so you can type in your question, and yeah, hopefully Professor Kang can answer that question. So, sir, let me just have a short conversation with you about your presentation or this report that we have produced. So I'm not sure whether this was addressed by the different cases, but I do believe that we try to capture some cases in those reports at the country level. So my question is about the workers. So while digital adoption was crucial in creating a digital workplace, I think you gave some examples on what are those tools that they are utilizing or have utilized. So does the report explain the receptiveness or openness of workers at the beginning? Yeah, I think during the transition, from when we adapt to when we start digital adoption. So of course we try to educate or train people, but how was the openness of workers, if we believe that productivity at the individual level is also important in this digital transformation?
Very good question. Very good questions. Many cases, many governments and many companies actually have suffered, have experienced this kind of, the kind of workers, employees involvement. So many kind of success cases, or so more many kind of failure cases. Also, we have seen because of the workers' involvement was enough. That's not enough, but actually in enough. So the involvement, how to encourage the workers to use or to better use for the actually their personal tasks to achieve original organizational goals. It's very crucial. Many mechanisms and actually the many kind of incentives, not only economic, kind of incentives, but also emotional, social incentives we have to create to adapt this new actually workplace environment. So we have to consider that one seriously, and that is kind of the my I don't maybe number three recommendation is kind of that kind of thing. So the employee involvement, engagement is very critical to make success, to make a better performance, better productivity gains, and to actually achieve those gains, to get those gains. Actually, organizations, public, private, whatever, they need to consider and they need to develop the kind of encouragement, new mechanism, economic mechanism, emotional mechanism, and social cultural mechanism, or the more personalized actually mechanism or the incentive they need to develop. That is actually what I'm thinking regarding your question. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So I think that's kind of a very good motivation. Yeah, I think you mentioned that, of course, workers experience new things. So I think they also experience different level of probably stress level with the technology adoption, and those mechanisms you mentioned are quite important to ensure the ability for them to adapt. So I have a follow-up question. I think your answer is a very good one, because you just didn't stop about economic incentive, but you also mentioned about social incentive or
Yeah.
even system incentive available. So in case those incentives are available, then in this new way of workplace or in this new workplace, so how do we monitor their performance of these employees eventually? I mean, using those tools, like in the case of Korea, is there any particular mechanism you have established to monitor employees' performance in the digital workplace?
Yeah, actually, this very good question also. As I mentioned, maybe this is the last actually recommendation from our project. We need to check, we need to monitor this kind of the result of the investment. I mean, digital workplace kind of initiatives periodically, regularly. Many ways and many tools have been developed already, and this report introduced several kind of tools, and I cannot much about because it is more than commercial kind of solutions. And many companies automatically they check, by using those tools, the daily or the weekly, monthly, or the immediately. There are many KPIs to check, to monitor actually the performance of the result, the gains or the investment. So one thing, so we need to consider is tangible, kind of KPIs, easy to find, easy to monitor. But the behind of those tangible, numbers, tangible phenomena, we have to see, consider intangible things. You know, the people go to the, kind of the access what time and how many kind of, works pages and transactions. Automatically, we can check, we can monitor those kind of, tangible things. But intangible things, emotional one, as I mentioned, and actually kind of conversation or the SNS, use of the SNS, those kind of things, intangible things, how we check, how we find out those intangible, kind of gains or the problems together. So we need to encourage those kind of positive gains, but we need to see those kind of things together. Tangible, kind of performance or intangible kind of things together. And we need more. We need to consider intangible things. It's not easy to find. You need to develop. You need to consider that one together. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, I have a question with regard to the country cases. So thank you very much. Actually, one good thing about your presentation or in this report, you highlighted the best practices of the different countries involved in the study, and you also mentioned about who are the top performers and what are the challenges and recommendations for the country to develop further their digital transformation. But let me just ask this in case there is a very significant kind of a point for reference. So among these 10 countries that we conducted the study, were there any significant difference in the findings among the different cases? I know you mentioned one by one, like what are the best practices of this country, and you outlined them actually. But is there any a significant difference that eventually later on may result into? I mean, the result will be different. But is there any you think that kind of big difference how these countries have undertaken this digital transformation?
Because of, all of, not all, so 10 actually our the kind of sample economies countries is maybe Korea, maybe something different, Malaysia or something different. It's all of those are developing countries. So means the role of government, public sector is very crucial. So which kind of factor when we develop, when we can invest in some digitalized the programs, which one goes first? Let's say it's kind of several kind of public cases. B2B within government operation sector or the government G2 actually B G2 the help the private business or G2C citizen. So those in terms of those kind of the clients of the digitalized workplace actual workplace solutions, maybe there are some differences. I considered something differences. It's economies. First, Mongolia, they developed actually government to citizen the actually the solutions. They called e-Mongolian system, e-Mongolian platform. So actually, This program actually started with 2020, actually already 5 years, and nationwide around 1,000, kind of the services integrated, and not 18 street actual organizations, they are connected in this actually the platform. So, the web portal and the actual mobile app and kiosk services and operator support and tailored service. There are many things developed. This is a more government to customer service. This Mongolia, is kind of geographically very widespread. So connect to the citizen is not easy. Analog time, let's say 50 years ago, not easy to vote when they have election time. They have to go, let's say, more than 100, 200 kilometers, sometimes by walk, sometimes by actually using the horses, whatever. It was nice. But now, because of this program, very easy to check or easy to make a vote, easy to participate. Open government is possible now. And another one is government operation, like Nepal. They use many this government operation sector, this government integrated office management. Because of Himalayan also got mountains, not easy to build, not easy to operate efficiently. So by using these systems. So which kind of point you are stand up now? Government operation or the citizen service. So I consider to select actually 10 cases. So I think which point you are going to start or the more investment tax money. I think starting with within the government operation first, then maybe actually go to the actually the citizen. And one more thing, the private sector, how to encourage the business, like Turkey, the SMEs, how government support subsidies, tax exemptions, and startup programs, and many those kind of policy tools they have developed, because those kind of the efforts from the government provide some incentives, then actually the market mechanism, sustainability gonna be possible. So it means those kind of digital workplace solutions to help to encourage SMEs, it results in many actually productivity gains through marketplace. It means that programs gonna be more sustainable, more sustainable. Why? When you have, let's say this year, let's say 10,000 startups, and this next year, let's say 20, let's say 10% growth, it means more employment. Young generation, they are seeking new jobs, and actually they found new jobs. They can actually earn, they can have income. It means the tax revenue, government side, they expand tax money. But because of those money, they can kind of collect the more actually kind of revenues from the new markets. So they can expand and they can collect. It kind of makes some kind of cycle. They create new mechanism. So G2B sector, also much more helpful to increase the actual productivity level, especially because developing countries, labor productivity much more crucial than capital. Because now very under kind of developed countries, maybe capital productivity is better than labor, but usually in the long term, labor productivity is better than capital sector. So G2B also has some contributes to kind of make better in terms of the productivity gains. Also, in that case, total factor product TFP, is also gonna be increased. So we need to create those kind of mechanism, new mechanism, for actually a little bit longer perspective, not 1-2 year short term, but maybe 3, 5, or 10-year perspective. if we develop, create that kind of mechanism, then that mechanism is working, is meaning more sustainable. Then actually investment much more gains than invest actually is cost. That is what I was thinking, and that's actually how I kind of classify those best practices. Okay.
Thank you, Professor Kang. I know, yeah, as you mentioned, and in the report that there are very unique cases across these countries when we did a study, and I think you just enhanced the discussion on what are those differences and which particular area that the country should focus on based on at least in this report that we have produced. Sir, sorry, we are running out of time. It's already like our time is up. So this is my last question to you. Yeah, so basically out of this more than 340 pages of this report, so my last question to you, in a nutshell, what is the main message of this APO research report, productivity performance of digital workplaces, that you want to convey to our viewers or to our readers?
Hmm. So, long time ago, I read a book. Actually, the title was Being Digital. But actually, being digital is not enough. Doing by digital something. That is what I want to say. Why? We have actually seen those gains, those numbers, those kind of performance. So doing by digital something. That is maybe actually we can say. And maybe we need to work beyond, as I said, now actually the digital era is gonna be not finished, but still actually going. But AI era is kind of burgeoning, is starting. So we have to consider that sector. Is that sector is small part of digital, or that sector is gonna be actually much large, big kind of mountain, maybe in the near future. We need to see that kind of new phenomena. That's what I want to say.
Thank you very much, Professor Kang. Yes, I think I agree with you. And I also would like to share my conclusion about the report and about this conversation I have with you about our report. So, actually, the report concludes with emphasis on the growing importance of dynamic and flexible productivity metrics in the digital age when measuring productivity gains in a digital workplace. I think Professor Kang's last message about digital age. I think we are in that age already, and of course, here comes AI and all these things. So I think we need to be more careful, robust when it comes to measuring the productivity gains as we embrace further this digital transformation. And the report also underscores the need for any organization to continuously evolve its strategies to align with technological advances and the changes they bring in for productivity and innovation. So the APO extends our sincere gratitude to the chief expert, Professor Kang, and the 10 national experts from Bangladesh, India, the Republic of Korea, Malaysia, Mongolia, Nepal, Pakistan, the Philippines, Thailand, and Turkey. If I just mention their name, maybe just for the reference, so we have these names of those experts from those countries: Mr. Zobair, Mr. Ranjan, Ms. Othman, Mr. Veg, Ms. Shesta, Dr. Sindhu, Dr. Seva, Dr. Ekanong, and Mr. Emen. Actually, they are the national experts from these countries who contributed to this report. So you may find each country has its own chapter in this report. So, Professor Kang, may I now invite you for your final message to our viewers, sir?
Thank you very much again. Actually, thank you for those actually 10 national experts. I forgot that one, but actually again, I really appreciate actually your involvement, your commitment, your enthusiasm to actually make this project happen. I'm very thankful actually those the people. And again, thank you very much for having me to make this project happen. And I want to actually encourage all of those people, countries to make something by using digital transformation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Kang. And we hope that this speed talk will contribute to efforts to understand the effects of digital adoption with productivity performance of individuals, organizations, and the economy as a whole. We also thank our viewers for joining us today. Please tune in to our upcoming P Talks to learn more about topics relating to productivity, performance, be it as an individual, organization, and of course to your economy as a whole. So with that, so we'd like to say thank you again and goodbye for now.
Thank you. Bye
Thank you very
bye.
much.